Welcome back to Quest Means Business. Australian winemakers can say cheers to getting back to business as usual in China. Beijing lifted crippling tariffs on Aussie wine last week. The duties went as high as 218%. They were enacted more than 3.5 years ago during a tense period between the two nations. Australian officials welcomed the news, and for good reason too. The Chinese market for Australian wine was once worth more than $653 million. Nikki Palun is an Australian winemaker, and she joins us now from Melbourne. Nikki, fantastic to have you on the show. You've had a fascinating and challenging time over the last 3.5 years. You're fluent Mandarin, I believe. Your business before this all happened was 95% exports to China. And then the tariffs hit. It was during the pandemic, and you totally had to transition. How tough was that?
Well, I have to say it was incredibly tough.
Yeah.
I actually, in my life, I never imagined that it would be like a perfect storm of having these two things happen at the same time. So there was a lot of very difficult moments in the last 3.5 years, that's for sure.
But two things you learned, I think, was the ability to change at speed, but also the importance of diversification. Where are you today, and what do you produce?
Well, I'm still obviously in the wine business. I'm a winemaker, so I love wine, and it's something I'm so incredibly passionate about. But what I did during the last 3.5 years was diversify into not just other export markets. So I now export to Korea, to Taiwan, to Japan, but also really building a strong foothold into the domestic Australian market. And so there's so many different channels there. So I've opened up a cellar door. I've got a little urban winery going now. I do lots of events. I sell into restaurants and bars. So what this has actually done for me is to build a very strong foundation. So now that China's open again, I'm able to have this very strong base as well as export to China. And that's the biggest thing that I've really learned, is that, as you said before, to diversify.
Yeah, a stronger and more diversified business. Okay, so what was your reaction when you heard that the tariffs were going to lift?
Oh, I was absolutely elated. I can't tell you how happy I was. It was just like better than winning any prize in the world. It was just incredible.
Okay, so talk to me about how quickly you think you can perhaps, and I'm sure you've already been talking to your contacts there about shipping to China, because obviously the market there has evolved. We've also got a global overcapacity problem. China's facing it too. The economic environment has changed. How are you going to approach it, and what are you expecting in terms of demand?
Well, it's very interesting. Initially, I was thinking that perhaps it would be a little bit less and there'd be a bit, I guess, a little bit more cautiousness. But what I'm finding so far is that a lot of my Chinese customers from the past have come back, and some of them came back within minutes after the announcement. So I'm finding that I feel personally there'll probably be a little of a pipe fill happen. So initially, I'll be able to get back into the market. I'm hopefully within the next 4 or 5 weeks, start shipping containers over there. And then after that, I think we'll see. It might settle down a little bit as, people start to find their feet in the new dynamics of the market. As you said, there's an economic slowdown in China at the moment. So we'll see. However, that said, I really feel that I'm going to approach the market differently this time. This is what's given me an opportunity of not being there for 3.5 years. You sort of think, well, how could I do it better? And what would I want to change from last time? So I'm pretty ready to pack my bags and get on a plane and go to China and just find some new opportunities as well.
How is your business there going to evolve? Because that comment's really interesting. How is the approach going to differ this time around? Because I read that you were selling around 200,000 cases in China. How much of that do you think you can capture? But to your point, and I'll ask it again, how are you going to do this differently this time?
Well, because I speak fluent Mandarin, it actually gives me an incredible advantage in the market. And I've also been engaged in China for actually nearly 30 years now. So I'm quite very, comfortable with the culture and the way China works. So I plan to go to China and really look for partners that I think want to work slowly and in a very long-term sense in the market. Because I think that's what's really important, is to slowly build up the brand, build up the customer base, and just build a very nice foundation. But the other thing is really looking at two-way trade, because I think that one of the things in the past that Australia did, we exported a lot of our wines to China. But I just want to start exploring, well, how can we work more closely together in a two-way trade perspective? Maybe we should be seeing more Chinese wine on our shelves here in Australia.
That's interesting. And that builds resilience for the business as well, because they then have something that hurts them if those barriers start to rise again, which I think is a really important point. I mean, what we learned through that period was a false word, a false phrase, you say the wrong thing, you accuse someone of doing something where COVID-19 is concerned, and that can create real geopolitical tensions. And sort of overnight, tariffs can go from very low to being punitively high. Are you concerned, Nikki, that something like that could happen again? It's not really something that you can prepare for, you just have to be aware of it. Are you worried about that?
I don't think I'm particularly worried. I mean, our current Australian government, they have very skilled diplomacy, and I believe that their approach now hopefully shouldn't create any more tensions in the future. But that's to say, you can't really you can't discount that that could happen again in the future. So it's certainly something I've very much learned is that, as I said, don't put all the eggs in one basket. Really just try and make sure that you have that very diversified portfolio of different channels, different markets, different countries, because it could happen again. And that's something that I think every winemaker in Australia is aware of. But that said, I hope it doesn't happen again. I'm hoping that that was just one moment in time, and that future governments can learn from, the mistakes of the past, and that we can just continue on with a very, mutually beneficial two-way trade.
Okay, I want to get your wine wisdom now. What was the average price of the bottles that you were selling to the Chinese market, and how do tastes in the Chinese market perhaps differ to what you've now built in the domestic market, for example, or those that are drinking from Korea, Taiwan, and Japan? Can you give us a flavour of how tastes are different in the different countries and regions?
Yeah, sure. So, well, actually, it's an interesting point. So, China in the past, because I think China's evolved as well over the last 3.5 years. So, China in the past was predominantly, I guess, that more premium entry level wine. Wines they're soft, they're red, they're quite approachable, like lower acidity, very quite fruit forward. And I think that's something that Australia has always done incredibly well, especially if you compare it to certain parts of, the old world wines as well. So, that's what in the past. And then but I think now China's actually has evolved. They've had 3.5 years to explore all the other different varietals and all the different regions in the world. And what I'm really seeing now is that I'm hoping and I'm seeing that there's an interest in the more affordable entry level, but also into mid and also premium wines as well. I mean, not that there wasn't a premium wines in Australia before, but I'm seeing that. For example, I make a Nebbiolo, and Nebbiolo is something that is light in color. It's got really interesting tannin structure, but the Chinese have actually taken incredible interest for it. That's something I was not expecting. And then back to the other part of the question, which is about different markets. So Japan, they love Pinot Noir, they love Chardonnay, and they also love Australian Shiraz. And they take the wines at many different price points. Japan's quite a mature market. In South Korea, for example, I'm selling a lot of my other Italian varietals, so things like Montepulciano, things like Friulano, things like Nebbiolo again. So that's absolutely fascinating. So I think with not just in an Asian sense, but I think globally, I think the youth and the younger people, they have a more exploratory, like they're more curious about different styles. So I'm really hoping that the palette will broaden, and then in the future we can really just send all these different interesting styles and price points to all the markets around the world.
Nikki, I love your enthusiasm. I'm so glad you stayed in the wine industry, because clearly you're a perfect fit. It's wine o'clock somewhere in the world, and now I have a real taste. Yeah, can't drink and drive on TV. Nikki, great to chat to you. Good luck with rebuilding the China business. Nikki Palun
Thanks so much.
there. Thank you.